I'm just trying to see, are you encouraging me to talk longer? Because that's never happened in this committee before. I will try to go as quickly as possible. And just say that this is one of the more perplexing nominees for me personally. I've seen the pendulum swing back and forth in this committee now over 11 years. I've seen my colleagues on the other side of the aisle rightfully take up a politically charged tweet about a nominee, whether it's for the bench or for significant offices like this one, as have we. I've seen back and forth. But I've just never seen something like this for a candidate, and I'm surprised that there's not more people who are calling some of this out in the most objective way possible. I do not understand how we're moving forward at this point. It seems like we are. It seems like it's a fait accompli, because I was just told the vote is coming. But I just want to go through some of the things that, to me, are sort of stunning that we are dealing with. First and foremost, this idea of FBI employees, these incredible agents that we all respect, that were involved in a lawful investigation of criminal violations of federal law, or that federal law that was protecting us and our national security, that these folks are being targeted. And we know that is happening. I asked Mr. Patel if he knew of any plans to punish or retaliate against FBI agents and employees who worked on cases that President Trump didn't like. He claimed he didn't, but he should not be really believed, not only because this is a history of lying that we've seen, but because the facts that we've been presented as a committee suggest different. The timing of the FBI purges, moments after the hearing we had, to me seems like an obvious implication upon this nominee. Ranking Member Durbin uncovered compelling evidence that Patel didn't just know about the FBI's plans to fire agents who were doing their job as directed, but that Patel not only knew about it, but that he directed the purge as an outside citizen. And if that's true, Mr. Patel has perjured himself before this committee, something I believe we would take very seriously. His trustworthiness is evident in his failure to disclose his work on behalf of the Embassy of Qatar to this committee. That is stunning. Work for which he possibly broke the law when he didn't file as a foreign agent. These are entanglements that this committee should take seriously, that we should investigate before moving forward. The financial disclosures we received after our hearing that we did not have a chance to ask him about show that Mr. Patel actually enriched himself by doing work for groups linked to Russia and China, foreign adversaries of our nation. I can't believe I need to say this, that as if it may be a question, but at a bare minimum, our FBI director should not have conflicts of interest with the Chinese Communist Party and Vladimir Putin, and we should have had a chance to ask him about that in open committee. That is just the most basic due diligence. Look, everything Mr. Patel has ever written and said, so much of what he's written and said demonstrates that he is somebody that goes against the idea of integrity and independence that the FBI wants. He has gone far, as my colleagues have said, posting the most outrageous, politically charged things. I'm disbelief that of all the incredible people that could run this agency, that this is somebody that we would pick. But my concerns really have to do about Mr. Patel's testimony before this committee. No one can claim surprise when he does exactly what he's promised to do in a lot of these politically charged writings. We have credible evidence that he is already enacting this idea of revenge against FBI agents who Mr. Trump does not like. We have credible evidence that he committed perjury when he told this committee that he wasn't aware of these plans to fire FBI personnel. He later changed his answer when answering the committee's questions for the record. Suddenly, he said he went from "I don't know" to "I don't recall" whether he plans to fire FBI personnel. And this was what he was saying over and over again. He does not recall. I don't recall. Not long ago, the fact that he lied about not knowing a white nationalist podcaster when he appeared on his podcast, not one time, not 3 times, not 5 times, but he appeared on his podcast 8 times. Yet he said he did not know who this person was or did not remember. This, to me, is a continued pattern that is disqualifying. It would be, to me, something all of our colleagues in this room would say, hey, man, you're not being straight, honest with this committee. Listen, lies like this are misleading and dishonest, especially with an institution that has a reputation for that kind of integrity. His refusals to share what he said before the grand jury is another example of, to me, unacceptable non-answering. His case about handling sensitive national security documents, it's a kind of information FBI directors are responsible for safeguarding. He played a role in that. He spoke before a grand jury. His testimony should be something shared with this committee. And his alarming bad memory about what he testified, to me, is just incredible. When asked whether he discussed with anyone the firing of the Assistant Director of Counterterrorism, he said, not that I recall. Did you know that the FBI officials and rank-and-file agents would be fired before he testified? Not that I recall. Were you aware of the review of FBI personnel who worked on January 6 cases? Not that I recall. Can anyone with a straight face sit here and say that that is an answer, that he is not misleading this committee? This is unbelievable if he doesn't recall that. In fact, his inability to recall such information, to me, speaks against his qualifications for a job if he's not recalling things of such importance. This committee should ask for better from this, from any nominee, from a Democrat or Republican president. This is stunning to me. We are here to serve the American people and their interest. This person has obfuscated, has lied, has shown an utter lack of character and straightforwardness with this committee. It is just obvious to me, of all the people that this president has nominated, I voted for many of them, this stands apart from what this committee should demand from anyone coming before it. I appreciate the desire to defer to a president on their nominees. This is why I have voted for many of Mr. Trump's nominees in this time that he has become elected president. But it is our constitutional duty to ensure that the president's nominees are fit for public office. This vote should not boil down to partisanship. It should really be about the objective understanding of someone who has performed and testified in this manner should be allowed to ascend without further questioning, further investigation of some of these issues that I brought up. I am very disappointed by this moment. I'm actually stunned by the fact that we are going to have a straight party line vote on someone who is so clearly unqualified for this office, who so clearly misled this committee, who so clearly has many areas of his background that this committee has not thoroughly explored that point to some serious potential for conflicts or worse. But with that, in hopes that I am trying to keep my testimony, my comments under 5 minutes, which I have failed to do, but I am concluding, sir. Mr. Chairman, I am stunned and perplexed at this moment that I have been asked to talk for 2 minutes. For the record, the chairman has said that I make a lot of sense. But he disagrees with me. Yeah. Mr. Chairman, I'm going to cede to you. If you would like to filibuster, you're welcome to. I'm sure that the committee of this committee would allow you to sit here quietly. But if not, I would very much like to hear Lindsey Graham speak on the virtues of the great state of New Jersey.
It's not going to be a long speech.
Wow.
New Jersey.
Wow.
My brother-in-law is from New Jersey, and we like him a lot.
That I will take that as a testimony. Thank you, sir.
And happy birthday to Dick Blumenthal.